I can't let this go. I can't let this go because it's now turning into a snowball. It's a snowball effect. And so what we thought was just a little bit of hanky-panky, a little bit of hanky-panky from behind the scenes. You know, she wanted to bust it down for a real one. And, you know, he was going through a divorce. Well, he started to file for the divorce once he got that bag. But what we thought was just a little bit of hanky-panky and conspiracy theories with regard to the prosecution of Trump over in Georgia by the Fulton County DA has now turned into a full-blown investigation, which is now including whistleblowers. Make sure y'all get a like up for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to my people on Facebook. I love you. I appreciate you. Y'all got to see this.
Has come under fire for having an intimate relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. Wade is assisting in the Trump election interference case.
Shout out to IBB.
Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live at the state capitol with the day's developments. Deidre.
And we heard from the first time today during that committee meeting that so-called whistleblowers from inside the DA's office, we were told, have contacted the committee chair accusing DA Willis of misconduct and the misuse of funds.
This is not any type of political witch hunt. This is a quest for the truth.
State Senator Bill Calzer dropped a bombshell as the meeting got underway. The committee chair said he's heard from several whistleblowers who are eager to testify.
There are whistleblowers inside the Fulton County DA's office that are raising complaints and allegations about the misuse of both federal funds and state funds.
Wait a minute. Let me put some Fani in it. Wait a minute. Let me put some Fani in it. Wait a minute. Let me put some Fani in it. You telling me that Fani is out here letting her Fani get the best of her? Say it ain't so, Fani. Say it ain't so, Fani. Listen, baby. Baby. You telling me that there's some whistleblowers out here that said that, listen, I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but it's some things that's happening over here that I don't necessarily agree with. There's some things, there's some hanky-panky that's happening over here that I don't necessarily agree with. Say it ain't so. Let me ask y'all a question. How do you know when to mind your business, and how do you know when to say something? Because we all want to preserve our jobs. We want to preserve our positions. We try to pick and choose what makes sense and what don't make sense. But why is it that when something happens, where there's smoke, there usually is a whole lot of fires? And so now there's a bunch of people inside of her office that's saying that, listen, we gonna go ahead and let you know what's really happening in these. It's similar to what happened to Tiffany Henyard over in Dalton. Yep, BB Bay, another conspiracy proven real. It's the same thing that would happen to Tiffany. Listen, y'all wouldn't believe the type of information that I have on Tiffany Henyard. You have no clue the level of investigation and how deep the rabbit hole goes. Because on the surface, you know, if you let them tell it, it's just the fact that she's just a little black girl over in Dalton that's a supervisor of Thornton Township that is being unfairly judged, and they just coming at me because they know that I'm a black woman and I'm a double minority. And so on the surface, we thought, oh man, she just wanted to take a Vegas trip. Now, what I'm starting to find out is that the rabbit hole goes deep. And I was saying to myself, once all of this information started coming out and people was reaching out to me that was over there in Dalton, and I know this and I know that, and I got to pick and choose what information I want to share later on in this week because I don't want to get nobody in trouble and I don't want to mess up nobody's positions and jobs and all of this. And you start really, really digging and you want to make sure that you got the right information because you don't want people to just be throwing their theories out or their rumors. You want to make sure that it's actually accurate. Then you do a little bit of research and you find out that it's accurate. And I'm like, what? What? No way. No freaking way. Unreal. Unreal. This is incredible. And I was thinking to myself, if I was Tiffany, I would have just went ahead and heeded the warning, because the way that this is turning out, I might have to get my FBI buddies on this. And it's the same thing that's playing out with Fani. It's the same thing that's playing out with Fani. Standing on business often at times gets you exposed.
Golden DA Fani Willis has come under fire for having an intimate relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Willis hired Wade to lead the 2020 Trump election interference case.
You lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so that their lovers can get rich.
Attorneys for several Trump co-defendants want Willis disqualified and the charges dismissed, saying she benefited financially from her relationship with Wade.
I think a political witch hunt or show trial would damage Georgians' faith in both our political and legal system.
Republican lawmakers spearheaded the committee over the objection of Senate Democrats who call the investigation a political witch hunt.
Well, when you get right down to it, it goes as far back as the 2020 election. That's unfortunate.
Over the next several months, the bipartisan panel will look into allegations.
How can people say it's a political witch hunt before they actually finish with the investigation? Why would it be a witch hunt? Why can't we just stand on business? Listen, if you ain't got nothing to hide, then go ahead and look into it. You know, people be saying to me all the time, Anton, you shouldn't show how much money you make. You shouldn't show yourself on a Patreon. You shouldn't reveal how much money you're generating. Why do I care? The 1099 gotta go. It goes to the IRS at the same time that it goes to me. I still gotta file it. The IRS is. That's the whole reason why you got accountants, and you make sure that you do things on the up and up and bookkeeping. So what? You get audited. You show them that you on the up and up. You keep it moving. Ain't nobody tripping about that. The only time that you got something to worry about is if you got something to hide. And so I don't care about your witch hunt because you don't find any witches in my britches. I'm just saying.
Of potential conflicts of interest and the misuse of state funds. Willis may be subpoenaed to testify.
It's not a given. You know, if I will certainly give her the opportunity, you know, and if I were her, I would want to be heard.
Now, the committee does not have the power to remove the DA from office, but based on their findings, they could make recommendations for changes in state law and also changes in funding appropriation. At the state capitol, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
All right, well, it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. Thanks so much, Deidre.
We're also learning new information this morning about Fulton County DA Fani Willis and her affair with a member of the team prosecuting former President Donald Trump. Republican lawmakers say several whistleblowers are eager to come forward and testify that Willis misused state and federal funds. Now an emergency hearing is scheduled for this week. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran joins us live from Atlanta. Elizabeth, what do we know about these whistleblowers? Any idea who they are?
Yeah, no, we don't know who they are. We did hear from the lawmakers on Friday, and they told us that they have these whistleblowers. They tell us that they have quite a few of them who are eager. So two things working against the DA, not only the state lawmakers with those alleged whistleblowers, but also lawyers say they have proof that she was lying before this trial or these allegations ever began. So Ashley Merchant is the prosecuting attorney here. She claims that the affair with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade began long before this racketeering case. And she says that's contrary to an official affidavit just about a week ago from Willis. So she writes in part, this is a motion that was filed on Friday. Since Willis and Wade were not forthright about their relationship in the first instance, there is no reason to believe they are telling the truth now.
So let's stop there. Ain't this crazy? Of course it's not crazy. All they doing is proving what we already knew. And see, the problem, the burden of proof always rests, right? The burden of proof always rests with us. Because as long as we can't prove it, then you can continue to do whatever it is that you want to do. And so what they basically saying is that, listen, not only is it improper and not only is what's going on in this office absolutely egregious and disrespectful, but they was busting it down for a real one a long time ago. So what you think that they just started this after a certain part of the case and they was like, you know what? Let's hold off until this part of it and we can make sure that we're doing it properly. You think that people are disciplined enough and that Nathan Wade had enough discipline not to bust it down for a real one. Come on, family. Come on. We know people. And if we know people, then we know people are reactive, not proactive. People are reactive, not proactive. That means that they do what they're going to do because they get caught up in the moment and then they figure out how they can cover their tracks afterwards. So if she lied, because again, shout out to my pretty things. Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. If she lied about having an improper relationship way before, instead of only admitting it when she got caught and then changing the dates, and then they've been out here busting it down for a real one, going to visit the Caribbean, because the only reason that she got caught is because the ex-wife got bitter and started going through a forensic audit of his finances. They pulled up his Capital One credit card and they said, who you buying a plane ticket for? Tell me that ain't Fani. Tell me you didn't buy a plane ticket for Fani. And then they started digging and they said, wait a minute. You, Fani, jumped on the pulpit and said that we coming at you because you's a black woman. No, we coming at you because you doing some improper things. Yeah, she jumped on the pulpit of the church. She stood on business. Yeah, we loved her. Y'all loved her when she was prosecuting YSL, but y'all don't love her now all of a sudden. All of a sudden, everybody is confused. Now y'all confused. We don't know what's going on. So she out here busting it down for a real one. Been busting it down for a real one. But then y'all want to get confused about the whole situation. Don't worry about it. Look at Maurice. But his wife was cheating as well. I didn't know that his wife held a public position and that she was prosecuting Trump. I didn't know. Listen, first of all, I don't know what his wife was doing. Secondly, two wrongs don't make a right. And third, when you hold a certain position, you have to be a much higher, much greater, above board. Listen. I'll give you an example. I know that some of you, because we have well over 2,000 people that's watching this live on multiple different platforms, okay? I know that there are some people watching this right now that cheat. Cheat on your husband, you cheat on your wife. Cool. Guess what? As a person that has visibility, I can't be judged by the same standards that you are being judged by, because I have a platform, I have a voice that influences, impacts people, and I give relationship advice, especially on how to be successfully married, which means that I have to hold myself to a much higher standard. I can't say, but you do it too. No. With great power comes great responsibility. And so you can't sit here and say, well, she was doing it too. No, you are in a prosecution office. You are the Fulton County District Attorney. You are determining who's going to be going to jail and who's not going to go to jail. You putting out evidence. You hiring special prosecutors. You spending taxpayer dollars. You determining what it is that they're going to do with the taxpayer dollars. You giving it over to your boyfriend. Y'all had a relationship allegedly before you even start giving him the money in the first place. How was that being influenced? And you try to prosecute a former sitting president in order to prevent him from getting office again. There is complications and impacts that then go into different things that we have to start taking into consideration. So you can't just say, oh, well, you did it too. No. You have a greater responsibility. You have a greater responsibility, not only to yourself, but to the people. To the people. And you cannot justify your bad behavior by saying, well, somebody else do it too. That don't absolve you from being bad. That just means that they're also guilty.
So Merchant represents Michael Roman. He is one of the co-defendants with former President Donald Trump. She says she has a paper trail to prove it. She says she has plane tickets. She has bank statements. She says she has documents that claims Wade has billed Willis at least $728,000 in legal fees so far. The DA's office is obviously trying to dismiss the evidentiary hearing that you mentioned. That's scheduled for this.
Now, why would the DA office want to dismiss evidence? Come on, man. Let's put our context clues together. Why would the DA office want to dismiss evidence that proves that it wasn't just $653,000? It was at least, now we can't put a ceiling on it because the number keeps going up. It was at least $750,000. At least $750,000. They said they got documents, bank statements, people around that was paying attention to what you was doing when you was doing it. At least 728 bands. Wow, that's some expensive. Well, I guess it wasn't really that expensive because y'all, the taxpayers, are the ones that's paying for it. Y'all, the taxpayers, are the ones that's paying for it. Yeah.
This Thursday, but pressure is growing on her by the day. We are hearing from State Senator Bill Cowsert. He is spearheading that. Claims that he has multiple employees who are eager to take the stand. He met with reporters on Friday saying you lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so their lovers can get rich and they can share the benefits of that. He went on to say this is not a witch hunt, but Marquita's investigation is falling up and down party lines in the state Senate here. State Congress, rather. And I will say that this panel does not have the power to remove the DA.
And either way, they don't have the power to remove it, but they have the power to at least make changes to hopefully catch it a little bit sooner. And you know what the worst part about this is that it's divided across party lines. What happened to right is right and wrong is wrong as far as ethics is concerned? You can divide yourself across party lines when it comes to political issues or what your stance is towards climate change or government versus state and taxes and all of that. But what happened to right is right and wrong is wrong? What are y'all talking about? Either way, Anton is going to stay on top of it. I'm going to make sure that I keep my ear to the streets because I told y'all that this was not going to be the end of it.